A very good afternoon, everyone. I would like to welcome you all to this platform of IAS Origin once again. आप सबका मैं इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे बहुत बहुत स्वागत करना चाहूँगा. Would like to welcome you all. And this is a session which is very much important. Why? Because here we are going to be, discussing, we are going to be revising various important questions pertaining to economy. When we talk about the economy, it's a very important subject. So here I'll be trying to cover some basics of economy. And these basics of economy, we are going to do some MCQs, multiple choice questions. That is what the agenda is. That is what the aim of the session is. I hope it's absolutely clear. So I'll just try to make sure that I'm going to give you a proper perspective that what all are the aspects you need to know about the Indian economy. And various graphs will be talking about, various important concepts will be talking about. So I'll try to just make sure that you're getting a holistic understanding on this very topic. So first of all, please do let me know who all have joined me in the session. Who all have joined me in the session, please do let me know, all the people out there. And I am sure that you are all going to gain immensely from this very session. Very important this session is, as you all know, and you all are going to be gaining immensely from this very session. So I can see a lot of people have already joined in. First of all, welcome to the class. ठीक है जी. So hello, ठीक है. हाँ जी, कैसे हैं आप? You fine? चलो, perfect. Now, having said that, so we are going to be focusing on the basics of economy revision. So this basically is a revision series, and the best part is we have got live sessions which take place at 12 p.m. on regular basis. 12 p.m. pe you have the live sessions taking place, which I'm sure you are all looking forward to always. And these are the kind of session which you never want to miss out on. Hi Pavan, how are you doing? Okay, so these are very important sessions which are taking place on regular basis. And I always, intend to do one thing, that whenever any subject you're talking about, whenever there's any subject you're studying, so you always have to, make sure that you study the important high value topics first of all. Why are they important? Because when you study important high value topics, it basically would mean what? It basically would simply mean that you are absolutely all set for the examination which is going to take place. Exam की जब आप तैयारी कर रहे हैं, whenever you're preparing for the examination, you have to always prepare for the high value topics first. These are very much important. So thank you, Pavan. Make sure you share the session with your friends so that they may also be in a position to take full advantage of this session. So I can certainly see a lot of people have joined in the session. First of all, welcome to the class. Vinayak, Raju, Pavan, Manav, all of you, and would like to make sure that this session is going to add a lot of value to your overall preparation. ये कोशिश रहेगी that your overall preparation is given a big boost by this particular session, as we always do. ठीक है. So before I proceed further, would like to tell you that the PDF of this session you'll be getting at this Telegram channel of IAS Origin. So in case you don't know, let me tell you that on this very platform of IAS Origin, you are going to be getting the PDF of this very session. So this is the Telegram channel, because a lot of students ask for the PDF so that they may be able to revise this. So that is what I can assure you, that you will be getting it over here. So just make sure you scan this and you join this. And even if you can't scan this, you can simply find it. आप find कर सकते हैं. You can simply search that and you'll be able to find it easily. Is that clear? So any specific doubts, in case you guys have, you surely can let me know. हाँ जी, sorted है जी इतना. I hope everything is absolutely clear to you guys. So what I'll do is I'll be making sure that you all are getting the links also on regular basis on the IAS Origins Telegram channel, because ultimately it's very important that every student should know about this very session. So I hope you all have got a link over there as well. Chalo. So first of all, again, it's great to have you all here in the session. Hello Dodame, everyone. So yesterday also we had a session. Unfortunately, not many people got to know about the session, but anyways, I'm today announcing this thing that at 12 p.m. make sure you join this session on regular basis so that you are all gaining immensely from these. In order to gain immensely, you have to be regularly joining these sessions. Okay, so without further ado, let's start it. Let's start this very session which we have today. Make sure you hit the like button so that this session is added to your liked videos. आपकी like videos में ये session चला जाए, make sure you hit the like button as well. Clear है? So shall we start? I hope you're all set for the session. Now the first question goes on your screens. Here, as you can see the options A, B, C, D. Can you see the options, everyone? A, B, C and D. 4 options we have. The question says, the Laffer curve is a relationship between dash. So Laffer curve does explain a relationship between which of the following? Unemployment and inflation, revenue and expenditure, tax rate and tax revenue, or economic development and environment. So how do you look at this question? Tell me, what exactly is going to be the right answer? Now this is a very important concept, Laffer's curve we talk about. So tell me about it, that how can you answer this? Shabash. Okay, so when we talk about, economic development and environmental degradation, the relationship which we have between both is explained by Kuznets curve. Let me tell you, we have got a curve that is Kuznets curve or Kuznets graph, which is explaining this relationship. That on one part we have economic development, on one part we have environmental degradation because of this income increase. When I talk about the other ones, for example, we talk about the unemployment and wage inflation. Do we have a graph for that? Anyone? Wage inflation and unemployment, may we have a proper graph, we have a proper curve that is known as Phillips curve. Always remember this thing. So we have a Phillips curve to plot this, to have a proper explanation to this. So this cannot be the right answer and this also cannot be the right answer. Now my question is that what is Laffer's curve? So when we talk about tax rate and tax revenue, you have to understand this is basically a relationship which is explained by the Laffer's curve. You have to understand. So what is the right answer to this question, bete? The right answer to the question is tax rate and total tax revenue which is collected by the government. I'll show you the graph also, don't worry. So this precisely is the right answer to this question. This is the right answer to this question. Very important. This is a very important fact you need to know. This is a very important fact you're supposed to know. Kyun bhai? Hua clear? I hope you're all in a position to understand these things precisely. Very important these are. So, whatever we are talking about, these are very basic things and you have to understand them precisely. That is important. Everyone. So, I am hopeful that कोई इसमें दिक्कत नहीं है आपको. You are not having any issues with this particular aspect. हाँ जी, हाँ जी. Any doubts still here? Please do let me know. In case you guys have any doubts still here, you can surely let me know. Thank you, Kumar, everyone. So, मेरे कहने का मतलब ये है कि I hope you are able to make some sense out of it. So revenue and expenditure as such we don't have a graph, so it's not important. So always remember, Phillips curve is related to unemployment, wage inflation, economic environment and economic development, environment degradation, Kuznets curve, and answer to this question is Laffer's curve, which is tax rate and tax revenue. That's how we look at it. So ये ध्यान में रखना. When we talk about this thing, on one hand we have total tax revenue collected by the government. On one hand we have the tax rate. So just imagine here the tax rate was 10%. Government increased it to 20%. Then government increased to 30% tax rate. So at 30% they are having revenue maximizing point. But after that, when they increase the tax to 40% and then to 50% and then to 60%, what is happening? The total revenue collected is declining. So this is the region of declining revenue. So what do you understand by that? So Laffer's curve tell you that beyond a point, the overall revenue of the government is not going to increase. To certain point, revenue will increase, but beyond a point it is not going to increase on a continuous basis. Clear hua? Everyone, I hope you are in a position to understand this idea. Perfect. So what precisely I want you all to understand is that we have to have a clear-cut picture in our mind that how exactly we are going to be understanding these ideas. हाँ जी, हाँ जी. हाँ जी, हाँ जी. Any doubts still here? In case you guys have any doubts, please do let me know. But now it's clear. So similarly, I told you Kuznets curve. So what is Kuznets curve? Environmental degradation and income. So you can see we are seeing that initially we have high environmental degradation and then environmental degradation is low. That happens in every economy. And having said that, what is Phillips curve? Phillips curve is wage inflation and unemployment's relationship. So this is what we need to understand. हाँ जी, हाँ जी. Clear है? Well, I am hopeful that it is absolutely clear to you guys. Everyone is understanding this idea. Moving ahead. Now, let's talk about a very interesting concept. It says, which of the following will have elastic demand? Tell me, which of the following is going to have elastic demand? That is my question. Shabash. Is it the matchbox, NCERT textbook, medicines, air conditioners? What is the right answer? Think about it. Which of the following is going to have elastic demand? That's my question. Now, my question is, what is elastic demand? What in the first place is elastic demand? Batao, how do you define elasticity? So when we talk about price elasticity of demand, let's calculate that. Price elasticity of demand. What do we observe? Now, how do we calculate that? We have a delta, getting it? We have a delta of quantity demanded. So ultimately, we have change in the price and change in the quantity demanded. That's the main idea we have to understand. Now, what does that imply? Yeah, what does that tells you? Let's talk about it. That's quite important, right? So when we talk about the change in the price, so if you're changing the price, let's say 20% price has changed, but quantity demanded is changed to 50% increase in the demand is happening. You have the 20% dip in the price and 50% demand is increasing. So what would that be? So that is certainly going to be 2.5. That is certainly pertaining to a elastic good. So that is air conditioner. So when I change the price of these commodities, the quantity demanded is not changing much. Do you agree with me? So basically elasticity means that whenever we change the price, how much change do we see in the quantity demanded? That is the basic question. So you got to understand this thing, that we have to be very clear. In case of air conditioners or in case of ACs, we are seeing that whenever we are seeing the change in the price, we are seeing massive change in the quantity demanded. I hope it's clear. So that is why air conditioners are what? They are the right answer to this question, because their demand is very much elastic. So now I hope you know what is elastic demand. So elastic demand only will happen when we have a good in which whenever we are changing, we are seeing the slight change in the price, we are seeing massive change in the quantity demanded. That is the main idea. हाँ जी, clear हुआ इतना? I hope it's absolutely clear to you guys, everyone. ठीक है. Very good. अगर कोई डाउट है यहाँ पे तो प्लीज डू लेट मी नो, मतलब इन केस यू गाइस हैव एनी डाउट स्पेसिफिकली यू कैन श्योरली लेट मी नो. ठीक है. हम्म. एनी डाउट्स? क्लियर है. चलो मूविंग अहेड. So I hope now it's clear to you guys. So you remember this thing, you know, this is very important. Whenever you'll plot this on the graph, just imagine this thing. We have a thing which is priced at 10,000 rupee, and at 10,000 rupee, what do we observe? We observe that only 10 quantities are demanded. But when this thing is priced at 5,000 rupees, that means 50% slash in the price, we are seeing the demand has been now 20 quantity are demanded. So what would that mean? That basically is going to mean that we are seeing the change in the price and the quantity. So you have to calculate accordingly. For example, how much is the change in the price? 50%. How much is the change in the quantity demanded? 10 to 20 होगी वाला 100% is the change. So it's 100. So you can certainly see that it is 2. That means thing is very much elastic. On the other hand, if there is a scenario when a thing was, at 1,000 rupees, at that it was 10 quantity demanded. When it became 5,000 rupees, the quantity demanded are only 12. That is inelastic. Why? It is inelastic because when we are saying the change in the price is 50%, so the change in the quantity demanded is only 20%. 20% increase हुआ ना? So you can see this is 0.4. This means it is inelastic. So in the case of drugs, cancer drugs and all, the price doesn't matter. Necessities mein, price doesn't matter. If somebody has to buy it, they will buy it. I hope it's absolutely fine. है ना? Very basic. So price elastic demand is percentage change in the quantity demanded on percentage change in the price. That is how it is. That's how the graphs differ. So you can have a look, at this. For example, life-saving medication of cancer, they are inelastic. Matlab they are not price sensitive. Maybe the price is dropping to a great extent, but not everyone will start consuming them, right? ऐसा तो है नहीं everyone will start consuming them. So this is a point we have to always understand, that only those who are in dire need of the medications, they are going to buy that. Not everyone under the sun is going to buy that. हाँ जी, क्लियर होया? सबको हो गया क्लियर? ठीक है, क्लियर है? एनी डाउट्स? हाँ जी, हाँ जी. चलो, moving ahead. Now I hope this idea is absolutely clear. Now the next question says, this is again a very important question. We have got various committees, okay? You can see that. And again, here we have options A, B, C, D. This is a match the following question. Rangarajan Committee, Narsimhan Committee, Kelkar Committee, Malhotra Committee. Tax reform, insurance reform, disinvestment and banking sector reform. So you just have to tell me that what is going to be the right answer. A, B, C, D. Please do let me know, everyone. हाँ जी. Think about it. Pavan, I'll explain that. Don't worry. So okay, let me explain that. Let's talk about the elastic good. So elastic good के example, we can take air conditioners, AC cooler at your home. Just imagine if the price of AC today is 10,000 rupees. At 10,000, we have a demand of 10 ACs, 10 quantities demanded. Okay. When the price become 5,000 rupees, that is 50% is the drop in price. How many ACs are demanded, bete? We are seeing the demand is there of 20 ACs. What would that mean? That simply means that 50% is the drop in price, but what is the increase in the quantity demanded? That is 100% increase. So can we write it over here? So quantity demand is increasing 100% and change in the price is 50%. So can you calculate? It is 2. This means AC is elastic because it is more than 1. Elastic है because 2 is greater than 1. If the elasticity you calculate, it is less than 1, it is inelastic good. For example, let's talk about cancer injection. Cancer ka injection. Now there is a cancer injection which is priced at 10,000 rupee. And at 10,000 rupee, only 10 people you buy that. When the price became 5,000 rupee, getting it? When the price became 5,000 rupee, how many people are buying it? 12 people. So how much is the drop in the price? 50% drop. How much is the increase in the quantity demanded? Only 20%. So you can have a look. This is how the graph looks like. It is very steep. This was not that steep, no? This was like this. This was the elastic graph. This is inelastic graph because cancer injection is inelastic good. And here when you calculate this thing, what is the change in the price? Delta is 50. What is the change in the quantity demand is 20. So it is 0.4. Because 0.4 is less than 1, 0 to 1 के बीच में है, that means it's a inelastic good. That means it's a inelastic good. So I hope it's clear. So see, matlab you have to look at these things, from a proper perspective. That is what is required. Any doubts? Clear हो गया? So जहाँ पे कोई doubt है तो you can let me know. ठीक है, मतलब because these are very important concepts and we have to have a proper clarity in our minds. चलो, पवन clear है? Full clear? Moving ahead. Now let's talk about this question. Rangarajan committee, Naseman committee, Kelkar committee. Very important this is. So you have to certainly match the following, ABCD with 1, 2, 3, 4. That is what is required. So let's do that. Think about it. हाँ जी, साइड हो गया जी, बताओ. Now, having said that, if you know one thing, that here the most prominent one I would say is Narasimhan Committee, which is synonymous with the banking sector reforms. So Narasimhan Committee को आप यहाँ B को 4 से connect करो. So it can't be B1, it is either B or either C. ठीक है? So B is equal to 4 because it is banking sector reforms. No, Narasimhan is banking sector reforms. So now you got to understand one thing, that if it is banking sector reforms, what about the other ones? Here, if you even know about, Malhotra committee, which is very much important committee for the tech insurance reforms, so you should know Malhotra, or even if I talk about, chalo Kelkar to pata hi hoga, Rangarajan committee. So Rangarajan committee is talking about the divestment of PSCs. So दोनों में से किसी को भी आप connect करते हो, you connect any one of that, you certainly would get the right answer. So remember that you connect Malhotra with insurance reforms, and automatically you are getting C as the right answer. This is how you're getting the right answer precisely. Is that clear? Well, I hope you've got it precisely. हाँ जी. Any particular doubts? हाँ जी, हाँ जी. Any doubts you have, you surely can let me know. Clear? Chalo. So you have to remember this thing, that Rangarajan committee is divestment of PSUs, Narasimhan committee banking sector reforms, Kelkar committee tax reform, Malhotra committee is insurance sector reforms. We got to understand. ये आप ध्यान में रखना. Very important this is. But I hope you're gaining something out of these sessions. You're understanding the nitty-gritties which are involved, which are very much important certainly. Okay. Now the next question is very interesting. It says, the situation in an economy where we have an economy which is growing slowly along with the rapid inflation and unemployment is also high, what are you going to call that situation? What's a name given to that particular situation, pertinent situation? I would like to know. बताओ जरा, क्या बोलेंगे आप? There has to be a name given to it, right? What's the name? शाबाश. ये तो easy है. This is quite easy, right? So that's a situation which is known as stagflation. So it's an easy one. Stagflation situation. So remember that stagflation is a situation in which we have slow economic growth, inflation, unemployment is increasing. That is what we call stagflation. So that's why C is the right answer. So, you have to know these terms whenever you're going. Everyone. Okay, there was a small glitch, I guess. Chalo, anyways. Now, remember one thing. The next question says, consumer price index is released by dash. Who releases the consumer price index? That's the next question for you. Tell me, everyone. Consumer price index is released by whom? Very good. Think about it. Shabash. That's a very basic question. Consumer price index. Who releases the consumer price index? That is my question. Very good. So I hope you've got the question precisely. Who releases the CPI, that is consumer price index? It is which ministry? Ministry of MSME, certainly not. Home Affairs, certainly not. It is Ministry of Stats and Program Implementation. Ministry of Stats and Program Implementation it is. So we have to be very clear about this. ये आप याद रखें. Ministry of Stats and Program Implementation. MSM. MSME तो हो नहीं सकती. So, you have to be very clear about, such kind of the questions whenever you pick these questions, that how do you answer them. So, if I talk about wholesale price index, WPI, wholesale price index is released by whom? It is released by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Ministry of Commerce and Industry is the one. So we have to understand this. Very important point. Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So remember about, important facts like these which can be asked directly. For example, you must have heard about 8 core industries ka index. You know about that? 8 core industry index. That is again released by Ministry of Commerce. 8 core industry index. And if we talk about index of industrial production, IIP, that is index of industrial production, that index IIP is released by the again Ministry of Stats. So ये आप याद रखना, which ministry is releasing what. So Ministry of Stats is releasing consumer price index, IIP, that is index of industrial production, and Ministry of Commerce is releasing wholesale price index and 8 core industries index. So that's important fact which usually confuse a lot of people, which usually do end up confusing a lot of people. You have to pay proper attention to this fact. Clear hai itna? So I am hopeful that at least you are in a position to now understand these facts precisely. That is important. Okay. I hope I am clearly, visible to you guys, that there shouldn't be an issue with that at least. Okay. So Pavan, Dodame, everyone, I hope whatever we are talking about, you are able to make some sense out of it. You are able to understand them precisely. Fact, and at times it has been asked directly in the prelims exam. So very important fact this is. Remember that Ministry of Commerce is releasing what, and Ministry of Stats is releasing what we have to know. This is important point. Everyone, clear? So any doubts still here, you surely can let me know. कोई अगर specific doubts है, you can precisely tell me. Perfect. Moving ahead. आगे बढ़े. Now I would like to explain this thing to you, that whenever we talk about consumer price index, that is CPI, and we talk about wholesale price index, that is WPI, we have to be very clear about a few things. For example, Ministry of Stats and Program Implementation is coming up with CPI, and Ministry of Commerce is coming up with WPI. This is clear. You have to understand that CPI is capturing change in the price of the services also, but WPI is capturing only the goods, not services. This is very important. But this is directly asked to you, so you have to be aware of these facts. Then we talk about CPI. You have to understand that what is the biggest weightage in CPI. 46% is the weightage of F&B, food and beverages. Food and beverages is given the highest weightage in this CPI. And in the WPI, 64% weight is given to the manufactured goods. Manufactured goods. So this is very much important. Manufactured goods is given the highest weightage in the WPI. So at times this question also comes that in CPI, which of the following gets the highest weightage? In WPI, which of the following get the highest weightage? So we have to be understanding this fact very, very clearly. हाँ जी, ठीक है, clear है? So मतलब we are, supposed to have a clear-cut picture in our mind, whatever we are studying, that, how they are being comprehended, how do we look at them? That is the idea you got to be understanding precisely. चलो समझ आ गया इतना? Everyone has understood this point? चलो, that's good. Or if there is any specific things which you would like me to discuss, so I can do that. I will also be talking about the other index, for example 8 core industries index. So you should know the Ministry of Commerce is certainly coming up with this particular index. Here refinery products are getting the highest weightage of 28% and the lowest weightage is given to the fertilizers production, that is only 2.60%. This is important. So at times a question comes that highest weightage is given to whom? Yeah, which of the following is getting the highest weightage? So we have to be understanding this point very, very precisely. Clear hua itna? Everyone, I hope you are understanding this point very, very precisely. ठीक है. So all in all, see, what is required is that you are supposed to have a basic level of understanding on these things. And so this is not just a question answer session, this is a session in which you revise these concepts precisely. We are revising these concepts precisely and that is quite important. Clear hai ji? Sabko, I hope you have understood this point, which is quite important because this can be asked directly to your examination. ये आपको एग्जाम में डायरेक्टली आ सकता है. And we have already talked about this thing, IIP. So IIP is released by Ministry of Stats and Program Implementation, Index of Industrial Production, as we call it, as you all can see that. So do make a note of it. Got it? And in case you would like to, have the PDF for this class for the revision, you can go on the Telegram channel of IAS Origin, or you can certainly search that, or you can scan that simply, and you can get the PDF from there. वहाँ से आपको PDF मिल जाएगी. Got it? So it was great having this session like always, and I am hopeful that you have enjoyed the session. You have gained immensely from the session, everyone. So thank you so very much for staying till the end, and go to the Telegram channel and get the PDF there. Thank you.